Welcome to this session where we see what's new in Forecast Pro V8, particularly version 8.3. Now here I have my blank project open. Let me just quickly load a sample data through the data manager and click on Read Forecast. Now if we go to the Options tab and we go to the Overrides tab, we see that we have three different adjustment modes. One is the standard, one is the multi-row override, one is the multi-row incremental. Multi-row override and multi-row incremental were the ones which we are kind of familiar with already. The new addition is the standard mode. This standard mode serves as a simplified override mode. In this, a new single row override approach will be there, which updates instantly across our entire hierarchy. It helps in eliminating complex override sets and making adjustments easier to manage. Let us take a quick look as to how this standard mode looks. Here, as we are seeing, we have only two rows to work with, making it much simpler. One is the statistical, one is the current. When we type in an override here, and we click on commit, we can see that the override is automatically applied. Now this is also coupled with a detailed change log in the bottom here. The percentage button, the increment button have also slightly been compacted. We also have log forecast button and return to baseline forecast. Now, when we lock our forecast, the cell turns slightly grayish, indicating that the forecast has been locked. Now, when we do this, we are also excluding this particular product for this particular month from sharing the override numbers which have been applied in the top level. Now, we all know that Forecast Pro does override disaggregation basis the contribution of the children to the parent. When we have locked this particular cell, that is 2023 July, when we enter the override number here, let us say, just make it 200,000. This 200,000 will be distributed amongst the other four for 2023 July. It won't be distributed for this because it has been locked. Now to unlock, we just have to click on this button again. Now let me try overrides. Let me just try to returns to baseline. Try making some overrides here. Right. So when we click on it, we get a detailed change log. In the change log, we can actually choose to see only a selection or all the items. So this can be accessed via the hamburger icon in the override grid settings. So it's called as the override transactions report. The same report can also be accessed here in the reports tab. We just have to click on override report here and we have override transactions. It's the same report. So why is this basically helpful? This is mainly helpful to see what all users made, what all changes, so that we have a detailed record as to what change was done at what period of time. Especially useful when multiple people are working on the same project. We also have the option to lock a range of cells. So we just have to select it like this and just click on lock. So it will lock it. If you want to return to baseline, just select the range and return to baseline. So it gives me a message telling that section contains log forecast. We must unlock them before restoring to baseline. I just click on OK. Just unlock them. And just click on return to baseline. Comments we can put. And the comment is automatically seen here. Now, this is exactly how we work with the new standard override mode. Now, if we want to revert back to the multi-row override, we can always come to home, we can come to options, we can come to overrides, and we can click on multi-row override. Now, we will see a message like this saying that changing the override mode may result in data loss and requires saving your project with a new name. Let me just click on OK. Program will now save your project in its original override mode. Okay. Let's put it here. 8,000. I'm just keeping note of what exactly was the change I did. Save it. The program will now save a new project in the updated override mode. We're saying that it is saving it in the original override mode and the updated override mode. Just click on OK again. So then project 2, let it be like that, and just click on save. Just come here. So demo project 2 is the updated override mode. That is the one where we selected multi-row override. Now let us take a look at demo project. You can see that this particular project has been saved in the new override. There is the standard mode. So this is exactly what has changed, and this is exactly how you can use your standard mode. So it is mainly for eliminating complex override sets. It helps in making override adjustments easier to manage. And you can always toggle between standard mode, multi-row override, and multi-row incremental. Now, the second change is that in the child projects, we can now shuffle our hierarchies. Now, shuffling our hierarchies, it's mainly done when the planner wants to see the project in different ways. So he does not want to see that particular SKU in that particular footing, let's say this particular customer. He just wants to see the SKU on top, and he wants to see all the other customers in the bottom. So it's mainly depending on how exactly we plan. So what I'll do is I'll just go to project collaboration. I'll just click on create child. Let me create it at a category level. And I just want a single project file, and I want only cakes. Just click on create. I'll just click on open. Project collaboration is mainly used when we want to split our main project into multiple subdivisions so that we can split our projects amongst our colleagues, and they can make the changes accordingly, and then it can be re-imported back to the main project. Now, once you have split the project and one of our teammates, they want to work with a different hierarchy, they just have to come to operations and click on reorder hierarchy. Now, reorder hierarchy was previously grayed out for child projects. So now we have the facility to see it. So I'll just move SKU to the third level. Let's click on OK. So we always have this particular message which pops up whenever we click on reorder hierarchy. So it tells us altering the hierarchy will log the statistical forecast. Just click on OK. Here we have it. So now we can see for this particular product where and all it's selling. So it's a product first hierarchy. This decision is mainly taken according to how we plan. And this is possible within the child project. So as usual, in the child project, we can make changes. So let's say I don't want this to be 90,000. I just want it to be 9,500. Let's click on commit. And I will save it. And I will close it. So come back to my main project. It tells that I have modified it externally. I'll just click on it and I'll just click on import. Okay. Here you can see that the change which was done in the child project is now reflected in the main project. And it can be seen in the change log in the bottom here as to who exactly did the change. Now, since I am using this for demo, my name is constant everywhere. But once you split it among different people, so according to who did the change, their name will appear here, along with when exactly they did the change. We also covered override transactions report, which keeps on updating as and when we make the change. The other change is that machine learning has seen significant improvement in performance. So it averages up to 8 times faster on large projects compared to before. So generally, when we are working with large projects and when machine learning is turned on, it takes a lot of time to assimilate the data and forecast. So sometimes we have seen people excluding machine learning so that the project is run very fast. But now the machine learning performance has increased. It is expected to be at least 8 times faster than before. So unless your project is very, very large, I think you can choose not to exclude machine learning. Now, the final change or the final upgrade in Forecast Pro version 8.3 is that we can see auto-summation of historical data. Now, what exactly is that? Now, I have a sample file here with me. This is mainly used to prevent the duplicates while Forecast Pro is reading the data from the sales file. Here we can see that I have two lines which are exactly identical. Right? It's total cakes food king BU2002, total cakes food king BU2002. And in both my entries, I have my sales number. Previously, if at all we had data like this, Forecast Pro would actually throw an error telling that there are duplicate entries in our history file. But now with this new update, this is actually being taken care of automatically. So we had to initially make sure that as and when we made the history file, we had to make sure that the combination of our hierarchy columns should always be unique. So whatever comes before description should always be unique. But now it's not the case. It need not be unique. As you can see that I have this test example made. It is not unique. Let's click on save. I'll just open Forecast Pro. I will now go to project. I'll go to data manager. I will add this sample file which I just created, which has duplicates. This one, so in forecast, click on exit. And as you can see that we did not get any error message at all. Instead, Forecast Pro automatically summed the data for us. It's 23484. It's from here. History. You can see that it is 23484. So we no longer need to worry about duplicate entries. Now these are the changes in version 8.3 in the latest update. So one is the simplified override mode. It can be mainly used if you do not want to complicate your overriding process. You just want to work with two rows, the current and statistical. You can always toggle between multi-row override, multi-row incremental, and standard according to what you need. You can leverage the detailed override transactions report to see what change was done by who and when. We also saw that in our child project, we can now reshuffle our hierarchy. And the machine learning models are much faster than before. So we can choose not to exclude machine learning when we are forecasting for very big projects. And finally, we saw the most useful and practical upgrade, that is auto-summation of historical data, which now handles duplicate entries in the sales file or the historic file. And automatically, it will sum it for us. We no longer need to keep an eye as to we have only unique entries in our historic data. So these are the changes. Thank you.